Got it.
Press your record. There you go. Now you're recording.
Okay. Thank you so much. Welcome to Star Studio, where sound meets soul. Tonight we spotlight Grammy-nominated composer Cheryl B. Engelhardt and Australia's sonic sorceress Jim, gold certified producer and Grammy next trailblazer. Two visionaries, one forgettable vibe, one unforgettable vibe. How are you ladies doing today?
So good. So happy to be here. Thank you.
So you're in Australia. Who's in Australia? What?
I am joining you from Australia. We've
Okay.
got both sides to be represented.
So what time is it there?
It's in the morning. It's 8:30 the day ahead. So I'm joining you from the future.
Wow. Okay. So is this tell me what a day is like for you, a day in the life of a person who just makes it happen. Like you make you two like okay, first of all, let me go back to how did you meet? How do these two minds just come together? Who wants to
Jem,
answer?
do you
I was like, is Cheryl gonna jump in? Cheryl, take it
so Jem
away.
sort of
Sorry.
initiated it. I got an invitation to lunch, but I don't remember how you
I met you
found.
in New York at an event
That's right.
in person.
But we first like really got together in Los Angeles around when I was out there for Grammy week last a year and a half ago at the
LA makes the
Grammys.
world go around.
Yeah. We had multiple meetings. One was in a crazy storm in New York, and I feel like there's been so many lunar and weather moments when we've met. Like there was meant to be a collision of music and minds and solar activity. It's been quite dramatic and beautiful. But I remember meeting Cheryl and thinking that we were so aligned and there was so much synergy, and I admired her and respected her music, and it just unfolded really beautifully where I got to collaborate with her on this incredible album. But we first spoke about it, as Cheryl said, in Los Angeles when we got together for a coffee, and it started off as one song
Wow.
and unfolded into this beautiful record that is out today.
Yes. So when you guys were working with three-time Grammy-winning producer Lonnie Park, who co-produced and mixed the album, and multi-Grammy winner Jeff Galindo, like who mastered the album, what was that experience like? These Grammy winners, you know, you were bound to get your name mentioned on that list, right?
I mean, one always hopes, but I think, we had been working together for a while. We did, like Jem said, we did this first song, which was actually kind of like a one-off for a company and it went well. And we kept saying, oh, I had a connection with a meditation events group, and I was like, maybe we can create something for them. And then throughout the summer, we started morphing and like we maybe this is an album, and it kind of just organically popped in. And it wasn't till I think we were like, we thought we were probably about 80% done. We were probably only 60% done when we were like, maybe we should just see if there's another perspective on what we're doing here. And talked to a couple different producers and people, and Lonnie just said a bunch of stuff that Jem and I were like, yes, yep, that, yep, oop, that, yep, that, didn't think of that, that. And I think we had, I mean, I don't want to speak for Jem, but I think we had a similar experience when he kind of came in, and it wasn't about two artists like gluing their stuff together. He really pulled us both out as individual artists to make, I've been saying he kind of did this 1 + 1 = 5
Wow.
and brought out something that wouldn't have been just a Gem thing or just a Cheryl thing. And now it's like a mesh. It's what's out there. And I think he really like pulling him in. I think we backtracked and we sort of reworked some stuff. So we ended up being not as close to done as we thought. But I think that was all part of the process, and it felt really good to work with him.
Wow.
Yeah, I agree. I think when Lonnie came in, it was he pulled us both out of our shells a little bit, and we were both collaborating very much in the middle. And Lonnie really highlighted that this is both of us coming together and we need to hear those characters very distinctively. And I think the project is so much better for having him, and I'm very, very grateful. And the same is true for Jet. I got to go
Mm.
to her studio in Los Angeles and seeing her new space, and she's all analog, and she's actually apart from being Grammy Award winning, she's really brilliant, and she actually has an analog setup designed by herself, which is the only one in the world. And I think that's really an interesting thing to have on your record, to have such strong technical females. I really love that and appreciate her work.
Because the men think they're the only ones who know how to be technical. So that's why I love when, I love to see women in production, women with the cameras, women just, making it work in ways that we never like saw ourselves in. You know what I mean? So when you
Yeah.
guys are integrating nature field recordings and tempo maps for brain heart coherence, to make this album just uniquely with all the meditative steps, how does that work? Like, how did you guys even come to like, because when we go to places where the meditation rooms are, if different things, you never think like of someone putting the sound together. All you know is hit that sound so I could just go into the zone. And you guys are the ones putting it together to put you in the zone. Like, what is that process like?
I think I mean there's so many different ways to approach it. I had done some work previously on with the Heart Math Institute in particular, looking at heart rates and at how it correlates to music. And my first album in this new age ambient space was called Luminary, and I explored the idea of having a trying to meet people where they were if they were feeling anxious or in the middle of a panic attack. And a lot of music is kind of it's hard to latch onto it in that space because it's so far away from the experience that you're in right now. So I was like, what if the music was like a little spazzy or a little faster and like matching the heart rate of someone in that space? And what if over a 4 to 6 minute piece the tempo slowed down, and could that person kind of latch on to the piece of music and have it help guide out of the like meet them where they are. So that
Right,
was something that was like sort of in the back of my head. And as Jem and I were talking about creating a series of songs that could easily weave together for a meditation event, we talked about, and so several of the songs actually ended up sticking with this idea of starting at one tempo and then either slowing down or speeding it up a little bit to bring energy in and then coming back down so that it could easily go right into the next song. So there are a couple pieces, even we've changed the order since,
right.
just for a variety of musical reasons, but there's some pieces you'll notice this like lift, or kind of a mellowing out. So tempo is one of the ways. There's
Right.
others Jem can speak to.
Tempo was a great way, and it was quite complicated from a producer side of view when we were working on that. I know Cheryl has worked previously with Dr. Joe Dispenza, who obviously has a lot of science and mapping this out. So that was really cool to work with. And I think as an ambient artist, a lot of my previous works started with a bed of nature. So I think we really began very intentionally. I mean, when you travel with me, I'm a backpack with microphones, and people are like, "Damn, it's just a weekend. Why have you got all these microphones? Oh, just in case the lake sounds good or the trees." Or
Right. That
that was my
me, I love just the natural sound of nature. Like, and you just want to put it in a bottle and take it with you, you know? There's nothing like I love to go to Miami when I'm super stressed out in Atlanta. I'm like, are you gonna be home this weekend? And I will get a cheap flight to Miami just to go to the beach. Because I just need to hear the waves in the morning. I need to see the dolphin. I need to hear the zero, but water splashing and ships going by.
It just resets your nervous system, doesn't you? And I think we really were very intentional on bringing those elements to this record so that it was a beautiful reset. So if someone can't get on a plane and go to the beach, at least they could visit there through our record and be transported to a place of relaxation. And as Cheryl said, meet people where they are, wherever that might be around the world.
And that's crazy because Jamie Foxx gave this speech and he was saying how I guess when he went into this coma, when he was traumatized by we still don't even know what, his daughter snuck her guitar into the hospital. And she told the nurse, I know what my dad needs. and she started playing the guitar, and that helped him like come back. And she said
Mm,
she was like, shh, shh, when she tried to talk, and she just kept playing these songs. And before you know, he woke up. So I was just like,
mm.
wow. He's like, God was in that guitar.
Yeah.
But it's
Music
the
is
power of music.
powerful. Mm.
Very powerful. Now, I wanted to ask you a question, Cheryl. On your resume or your bio, it said, um, it's time, man. I wanted to ask you if time management, finances, email marketing, and the nervous system, are they all related together? Because I know, like,
Yeah, systems. So I also coach musicians and creative people in the arts on how to kind of ground their nervous system so that they can make better marketing, branding, time management, career choices. So I tie those two things together. So yes, all those things you just said are sort of the systems that I like to focus on that I think when someone's facing a breakdown in their life or career, usually there's a system that either needs to be put into place or just optimized, cleaned up, simplified, and a lot of the finance, time management, communication, email. I like email, but really how you're communicating with your fans, clients, whoever, and it all starts with having that regulated nervous system. So yeah, that's other work that I do, and I'm starting to kind of bring it all together.
you need a
Yeah.
soundtrack to just, give the clarity, brain clarity, just go right on through. And then now, Jim, you created a song during the eclipse in all these different places. Like, was that like, because I know we only get an eclipse, like, how long? Every so many years?
Eclipse was actually composed by Cheryl during the
Yeah.
eclipse. And
Yeah.
yeah,
We
beautiful
have
song.
lots of lunar eclipses, but this was the solar eclipse, right? I don't know.
I,
Jen.
I ended up adding my part and adding textures and mixing on the next eclipse. So this is like this every time there was like this big, beautiful event, we're like, quick, this is the moment we both get out amongst it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
that was cool.
You
That was
combined
the
it.
one where
Oh, that's
it's like it got real dark and it was really weird. Like it was the sun was out and then it got covered by the moon. And so it was about 2 hours and that's how long it took me to write this piece. Eclipse and it was a little bit darker. And then it took, a couple months we were working on other stuff. And then there was the lunar eclipse, which we have more of. And that's when Jen was like, okay, I'm going to add my stuff on. I was like, oh, that is perfect timing to kind of revisit that piece and give it a new, kind of start really doing the collaboration on it. So that was really fun. And then Equinox was the one where you on the
Yeah, I
winter equinox.
composed I composed Equinox on that afternoon, and I really had the feeling of at that time I was in LA, and I think this is probably very relatable for a lot of people that travel or are away from their family and friends for periods of time. I was looking up at the sky and I was thinking about the equinox where it's the one time where you have that same amount of dark and light and you feel very connected to everyone in the world. And I love the idea that you could look up to the sky no matter where you are and be experiencing the same sky in the same amount of time. And it made me feel just so connected to my family, but connected to everything in this really beautiful way. And I thought, well, this is a song for the record. Let's do it. So
Which is
yes.
And I love that particular song. It's the only song that we have a male vocalist, guest vocalist on there. And so with that connection of like all human, it really, Robin Tucker, he's a really beautiful voice, really great young representative in the LGBTQ plus community. And that song in particular, it's one of my favorites on the album. And I think like as you're talking, Gemma, like, oh, it really embodies that like total connection to like all encompassing. It's really big energy. Yeah, that's one of my favorite ones actually.
Those are big, like stadium songs, when you're out in a stadium because they have the speakers where you could just feel it. If you
we're
got,
ready. We're ready for stadiums. Put us in.
Yeah, put us in, coach.
but for the
We're
sporting
there. Let us
events,
know
have you
when.
guys pitched them like for the sporting events to put them into the stadiums? Because that's big
Yeah.
money right there.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I
we're
think too, what you're
working
saying,
on some licensing. Oh, sorry, go ahead, James.
no, I was just saying that that expansive energy that was really brought down from, that doesn't belong to us. We've brought that down from all the lunar and solar events, but then poured it into the music. And I love the idea of people who maybe need to expand their capacity, excuse me, in that moment, whether it's an artist stepping on stage or before a sporting event, like you said. I really love that,
Yeah.
coding that energy, expansiveness, and feeling connected. And it's very empowering.
It's very empowering. Just the whole, finding a person who gets you when you're doing something that's different and outside of the box and just
Mm.
being able to collaborate. That's like, to me, it's maybe a twice in a lifetime thing. Because we meet so many people, but everybody's so different. So when you find someone and they get it, you're like, oh my God. And then you could work together and get it together. You two are such a beautiful combination with your skill set. I love it. I absolutely love it. So I had to interview you because I wanted to hear more.
Thanks, Janelle.
Yes. So when are you guys back in LA?
That is TBD. We
Okay.
are
Couple
keeping
of weeks,
our
hopefully.
schedule is very up in the air, and we're I think we plead the fifth on that one for now.
Okay. So they say next year, 2026, you're back in LA for sure to get that Grammy. Okay.
Well, there's that. Thank you. Yeah.
Sure.
That out there. Yes, universe. Thank
Gonna put that
you.
out in the universe. And thank you so much for taking out the time in your day and your morning to join Star Studio and Rolling Out. And this is Cheryl. Can you guys give me a drop and say, this is Cheryl Engelhardt and this is Jim, and we're rolling out at Star Studio.
This is Cheryl B. Engelhardt,
And this is Jem.
and we are rolling out at Star Studio.
Yay!
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much. Have an incredible weekend.
Thank you.
Bye bye.